Hello, my name is Michael Fortune. I'm being forced to take the streets of Enniscorthy in the morning, Tuesday morning, in order to get the Wexford Echo to put right the very serious wrong they done me by seriously defaming me. This all stems from a case that we had going on with one of the most evilest landladies you could ever come across in your life. I wish I could name her, but I won't. But she knows who she is. We all know what the winter of 2010 was like, with the big freeze up. On the 22nd of December, we were living in a place called Mazabiel in Knocknaskok in Ball of Oak, and we had serious problems. The filtration system of the water well froze up. It was only being housed in a little galvanized shed. Absolutely no protection whatsoever from the elements. It froze up and it burst. And on the 22nd of December, I rang the landlady, or the landlord, and I asked him, could he get a plumber out to attach two pipes so as we could have water. The landlady came onto the phone and unleashed an absolute barrage of abuse, and it was from then on she started an absolute hate campaign against myself and my wife. When she didn't get her own way, she told us, she unleashed a barrage of abuse, and she told us to get out of the house that day on the 22nd of December, or she would bring her sons down and put us out. I told her to bring her sons down. There was absolutely no way I was going to move out of that house. We had an absolute legal right to be there, a legal 12-month tenancy, and everything was signed, and she was infringing on our rights. When she couldn't get her own way, she started an even worse hate of campaign against us. When she tried to illegally evict us on the 22nd of December, it went on from there. We got a notice of eviction. We had to vacate the premises by the 19th of January. We refused point blank. And then it was vacate the premises by the 7th of May. We absolutely refused blank. And because she couldn't get her own way with us, she started this absolute evil campaign of hate against myself and my wife. And for the last 4 years, this woman has made our life an absolute bloody hell. She has accused us of everything under the sun. She has produced, we went to the PRTB board, and once you go to the PRTB board, no landlord can take any form of action against you until an adjudication has been made. And when that adjudication has been made, then the landlord or the tenant has the right to 21 days to appeal. She appealed it, and she introduced absolute false and malicious evidence. She had a letter from a fellow up in Monk's Farm who called himself an insurance assessor. He had wrote in his report that every single wall in the house was damaged, the doors were very badly damaged, and the locks had been kicked in. Absolute total pack of lies. It was very obvious that he hadn't even been to the house. But I won't name him. And 4 months after we moved out of the house, the guards knocked on my door. We were getting carpet fittings. Now remember, this is a rented house. We were carpeting the front room, the hallway and the stairs at our expenses. Because this, as far as I'm concerned, while I'm living here and paying rent, this is my home. And no one, absolutely no one, has the right to invade my home. But on the 26th of October, the guards turned up at my door. Three or four of them turned up at my door. They said they had a warrant to search my home. And I knew what it was all about. And I brought the guards in. I actually didn't see the warrant, but I brought the guards in, and I told them what this was all about. I told them, and I showed them all the evidence that I had got that this woman was nothing else but an evil tyrant of a liar. I showed them photographs of lamps that she claimed was hers. And the photographs were taken on the 29th of December 2009. Nearly 9 months before we even moved into this evil person's home. So the guards searched our home and they took some of our property. And they didn't have one single molecule of evidence. Not one single molecule of evidence. And I'd like to know how the guards managed to go and get a warrant to search my home and take our property without not one single molecule, not a molecule of evidence to show what this woman was telling them actually happened. This woman was able to go and use the guards to get her own way. We have won our cases. We have won every stage of this case for the last 4 years. Every stage of it we have won for the last 4 years. When the guards took our property away, they sat on it for 12 months. And in that 12 months, my DeWalt drill and screwdriver in a case went missing, obviously from the guard station. But these things don't happen. After 12 months and after numerous letters from my solicitor to the superintendent. They decided that they were going to take the case to court and let the judge decide who owns the property. This was an absolute civil matter. It wasn't a criminal matter or anything like that. It was a civil matter. Although this had been dealt with by the PRTB board at the tribunal, because as they said to her in the tribunal, there's not a single item of what you have accused this man of taking on the itinerary for the house. Not one single item. And we can only be held responsible for what's on the itinerary. We will not and cannot be held responsible for anything that's not on there. So we went to court, and the judge in Gowrie District Court, although the stuff that was in the court was nothing but tat, the landlady could not produce one single molecule of evidence that any of that property was ever in her possession. Not one single molecule of evidence. But the judge ordered that our property be given to the landlady. And yes, I called him a tyrant, and yes, I told him he was not fit to be a judge on the evidence, if that was his verdict, on the evidence that was just being presented to him, then I think he should step down. And yes, I told him that. And he locked me up for half an hour. I had to apologize to him, but I was extremely angry. I was extremely angry because this evil piece of human garbage was able to use the guards to take my property. And the following week, the headlines in the Echo newspaper was "Thief attacks judge." I was never charged with any form of crime. I was never found guilty of a crime. There was absolutely no suggestion of a crime. And the paper, Wexford Echo newspaper, said the headlines was "Thief attacks judge." I immediately appealed, and then my solicitor discovered that the guards actually gave the property back to the landlady on the day of the court, which was actually illegal, because they should have given me 14 days in which to appeal, but they didn't. They decided to give it back to her on the day of the court. So I immediately appealed. My appeal was supposed to be heard in July. It wasn't heard. it was put back until the 20th of December 2013. And up to then, there's nothing I could do or say to the Wexford Echo, as angry as I was, because everything was sub judice. On the 20th of December 2013, Judge Hickson in Wexford Circuit Court completely exonerated us from any blame or culpability in this matter. The guards were ordered to get our property back and deliver it back to us. I immediately, as soon as I got back from the court, I immediately contacted Wexford Echo newspapers. And I told them that they seriously defamed me. And I spoke to the editor, which was Tom Mooney. And this is an email that I got from him over the weekend. Michael, hi. The original court case you referred to, and with which I am not over familiar, was over a year ago, and I would have difficulty sourcing the original notes by the reporter before Monday, but I have no problem accepting your version of subsequent events. Following our conversation on Friday, will you look at the following proposed clarification over the weekend and get back to me before noon on Monday? Clarification. The Echo in December 2012 published a court case arising from a dispute over the ownership of property in which it was alleged by a witness that the defendant, Michael Fortune, was responsible for a number of items missing from a rented property in Ferns. We weren't in Ferns. We were in Bowl of Oak. The Echo is happy to clarify that there is no substance to the allegations against Mr. Fortune, and that he has in fact been exonerated in court of any culpability in the matter, a position he has adopted from the outset. From the 22nd of December 2010 right to this present day, we have never told a single lie in this matter. I produced to the PRTB board 91 photographs and 4 videos of the immaculate condition we left her, that evil woman's home. We were ordered to leave the keys in the kitchen and just leave the house. I contacted my solicitor down in Kilkenny, Mr. Lanigan, who has sent letters to the Echo newspaper, sent letters to the receiver, and they have refused point blank to enter into any form of communication with us. You will note from that email that was sent to me, there's absolutely no mention of an apology. That's just a clarification. There's no apology. Or there's no mention of any form of damages. for what they've done to me. And now the fact that I have tried every single legal route, went down all the legal routes to get these people to apologise for the way they defame me. I'm absolutely entitled to my name the same as everybody else, and no one has the right, absolutely no one has the right to be able to judge me and call me a thief. No one has that right. And by God, if you call me a thief, you've got to be prepared to back it up. They shouldn't have even been reporting this matter. It was a civil matter. And that's all it was, a civil matter. And I, for one, am not going to allow this newspaper to defame me like this. So now I have to take to the streets of Enniscorthy in the morning, Tuesday morning, hail, rain or snow. I'll be on the street outside their offices tomorrow morning. The guards then will probably come along and tell me to move off, but I have no intentions of it. I have absolutely no intentions whatsoever of letting this local rag get away with calling me a thief. And then they haven't even got the guts or the integrity to apologise. So all I ever wanted was an apology. But that's off the table now. And if anybody wants to see any documentations, I've got court orders. I've got court orders here. I've got court orders for the sheriff to go and seize their property in order to pay us the €1,250 that they owe us. The €1,250 was €750 deposit that we paid on our home, and that she absolutely point blank refuses to pay it back to us. And the €500 is what the PRTB awarded us in compensation for breach of landlord obligations. Now, we've been the absolute victims here, but the PRTB board awarded us €500. They awarded themselves €5,000. I just wondered if they have been paid yet or not. I can't understand how the justice system in this country is only there for rich people. Us poor people can't get anything. We can't get justice. And these newspapers think they can walk all over people. And newspapers have to be responsible for what they print about people. And the Wexford Echo is going to be responsible to me. I don't care if I have to stay outside of their offices for the next 10 years, or as long as I'm alive. I'm 62 now, and this is what they're forcing me to do. I've never taken to the streets in my life before, but this is now what they're forcing me to do. rather than say they were sorry. I think they're an absolute bloody disgrace. I think the system is a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. And that is why now I am taken to the streets in the morning outside of Wexford Echo offices in Enniscorthy, and I will also be protesting outside of Selska Street in Wexford. Now, that's what I'll say. I very much hope that Wexford Echo will come to their senses and talk to me, and talk to my solicitor. But I'm not going to give up until there's such times that they own up to the wrongdoing, and be as quick to print an apology to me as what the word to brand me as a thief. Thank you.